Welcome to my channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Waldorf Inspired Roots, where we share our Waldorf inspired homeschool journey and family adventures. In today's video, I'm going to share some things that are typical in Waldorf education and how our family plans to incorporate some of those things into my son's 10th grade curriculum for this upcoming school year. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and say hello down in the comments. Thank you for joining me today. So I do have some notes just to kind of help keep me on track, but let's first talk about what things are common in many or most Waldorf schools as far as I know. The Waldorf philosophy focuses on developing the whole child. And they often refer to this as teaching the head, heart, and hands, or the mind, body, and soul. And so that's kind of what everything is based around, and their whole curriculum is built around teaching the whole child. They also value experiences before explanation, so the doing, the seeing aspect of it before the explanation or any sort of talking points or that part of it. They also understand that human interaction is very important to learning, and subjects are typically structured in main lesson blocks that usually last between 3 to 6 weeks each. And then often a lot of curriculums or schools that I found so far follow a 2 or 3 day rhythm where new information is introduced on one day, followed by a day or two of review for that. And then typically there are little to no textbooks. Usually the students will make their own textbooks called main lesson books, which will be notes, illustrations that they do themselves, writing, assignments or things. But as they're being taught, they will form these main lesson books, which are then their textbook that they made themselves. And then also the 7 lively arts are usually integrated within all areas of study. And the 7 lively arts include movement, speech, drama, music, modeling, drawing, painting, and then a lot of people throw in storytelling as a lively art as well. So that's kind of what you'll typically find within a Waldorf curriculum. Now, how will we incorporate some of these Waldorf principles into our homeschool plans? Since my son attended public school from kindergarten through 5th, and then for a brief period of time during 6th grade, he got really used to using textbooks, having a teacher tell him what to do and then him doing it. And the arts were little to none in his school, unfortunately. And so for the last couple years, our focus has been on discovering his learning style, discovering how he learns best, what he enjoys about learning, developing his passion for learning again, because that had kind of the fire had been put out with that, and he didn't have any passion for learning, unfortunately. And so that's been my focus. And then we've slowly been trying to integrate some of the arts. He just thought he didn't like the arts at all, when in fact he does. He just didn't have any experience with it, so he just thought he didn't like it, but he really does. He's discovered that he really does like drawing. And so we're kind of trying to start there and go from there. Sorry for the lighting change. My light was flickering and getting wonky. So I was talking about where my son is currently at. So this year was really the first year that we started really trying to incorporate drawing, He started playing guitar this year, and I'm trying to have him focus on doing physical things. He likes to skateboard, so just trying to get him involved with being more outdoors. We're gardening a lot more, and we're helping out at a small farm near us to try to, have some of the handwork and the physical work as part of his week and as part of his rhythm, so that he can start to value some of those skills. So we try to teach the head, heart, and hands with a good balance of academics, his passions, and the arts. And then, since human interaction is so important to learning, I try to learn with him as much as possible, which I've actually discovered is really fun for me, because there's a lot of things that I forgot I ever learned. And then as I'm learning these things, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember learning that. And so I also try to bear in mind that because my son is 15 now, he is ready for more of the independent learning. And again, I just try to keep a good balance of me teaching him with him independently learning, and following some of those steps on his own. And then he also is involved in a co-op on Wednesdays. He gets together with several other kids that are around his age, and every other week they learn science. This year they're doing physical science, and so they do a lot of projects and activities and things with whatever their lesson is. And then once a month, all the kids go on a field trip, and then once a month they have a game day. Last year we did book club and history presentations as the fourth activity or week. This year we changed it, and we have it be a game day, and sometimes those are outdoor games like sports and things. Sometimes they get together and they do things at the park, or we'll have an activity planned. Sometimes it's tabletop games. It really depends, on the week. And so this year, which is 9th grade, we did a sort of block schedule. And I actually posted a video last week about our daily and weekly rhythms. And I don't know if you can see, but the chart that I used for that is actually on our wall. And but basically he does 1 or 2 main subjects every day. And then in addition to that, he has his daily work, which is in his morning basket. And so typically in the morning, he has an hour roughly of work that he does independently on his own that is primarily review. And I actually have a video about what's in his morning basket also, but typically it's things that he's reviewing, or like handwriting. He never learned cursive when he was in public school, and he decided he wanted to learn that, and so we have been including that, as well as math, things to review. Not typically new things so much. I mean, there are some obviously, but it's a lot of review to keep things fresh that he's already learned. So this upcoming school year, which my son will be in 10th grade, we are going to try to incorporate even more of the Waldorf philosophy and Waldorf inspiration into his curriculum and into his rhythm. So we're actually changing a few things to kind of align with that a little bit better, and we'll see how it goes. So the main change will be his block schedule. So he will be doing more of a typical of Waldorf block schedule, and I actually brought out his calendar. I've been working on it for about 2 weeks now, but the way we're going to do it, he's going to have one subject for, I think the shortest block is 3 weeks, and I think his longest block is 5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Might only be 4 though. But there's a few things that obviously, like one of the subjects he's doing next year is American history. That's a big subject, right? And so we do want to fit it in this year. It was very hit or miss what they taught him in public school, and so we are starting at the beginning and working our way through all of American history, but I am breaking up the blocks into different units or blocks. So there's actually going to be 4 American history blocks. But pretty much most of August, as you can see, we have 4 weeks of American history, and that's his first American history block. And that one, I believe he will be doing colonial America primarily. And then he's got his Geometry 1 block, which that's his first geometry block, and it's 3 weeks. And I believe he has 2 geometry blocks to finish that. And I will do a separate video, otherwise this one is going to get to be way too long. I'll do a separate video though of what we're using for these, what our curriculum choices are, how we're going to do these blocks, how I'm going to organize them. I can even do a video on how I put together a block or a unit study. So yeah, we have that. And then for the last week of September all the way until toward the end of October, he'll be doing chemistry. And then after chemistry, the last week of October until the middle of November, he'll be doing, I believe it's a 4-week block for the second block of American history. And then he's doing a personal finance class because he will turn 16 in January, and he is very excited to be able to get a job. And so we want him to be prepared for that a little bit better by, taking a personal finance class. And so that will take him from the week of Thanksgiving, although he will have Thanksgiving and Friday off, but the week of Thanksgiving until winter break is the week of Christmas and the week after Christmas. So personal finance will take him through the end of the first semester or whatnot. And then starting in January, he's going to do a creative writing class that's going to take him 4 weeks. Writing is a subject that he struggles with. He's always struggled with it. It's not something he enjoys doing. So instead of putting together a writing class like composition, that it's more structured and things like that, he is going to have some stuff in his daily basket for writing, as well as some writing stuff for an SAT prep daily, daily basket booklet or workbook that I found for him. So he will have those things. So he'll be working on, and then he also has a grammar and usage book and things like that as part of his daily basket to incorporate language arts more. But I want him to just do a creative writing. And I did find a really good creative writing curriculum or whatnot, and I believe it's for like 7th or 8th grade, but because he struggles with it so much, I really want him to have fun with it, and I will pull some other resources in as well to supplement that. But I believe it was from a Waldorf website I found this curriculum on. But in the video I do where I'm sharing what curriculum choices, I will go over what that will be. But yeah, so creative writing. And then the very last week of January, he'll do his 3rd American history block. Oh, and I forgot to mention the 2nd American history block will be primarily the Revolutionary War, the American Revolution, and I think some Wild West things. I forget. I'd have to get out his book. And then this 3rd American history is primarily the Civil War and then rebuilding, the nation. And then that will take us up through almost the end of February. Then, through the end of February actually. And then he'll go into his 2nd geometry block. And That one is going to last him, I believe, 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks. And then at the end of March, which I think is such a wonderful time because it's spring here in the Las Vegas area and everything is getting warmer and you want to be outside. So we're going to start a geology unit, and that will take us up from March until the end of April with spring break right in the middle. But I thought that this would be so much fun, and I believe that one is 5 weeks. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually 4 weeks because spring break is in the middle. But yeah, so I thought geology, that would be a really fun unit for him to do. He has a collection of rocks. He has always liked rocks and, the earth and volcanoes and things like that. So I think that time period will be great right before it gets hot here. And then beginning in May, he will start his last American history block. And I believe this one is 5 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So that will take him up to the end of the year. And the reason why that one is 5 weeks is because we have to get through World War I, World War II, Vietnam, the Korean War. I'm missing plenty of things, I know, but there's a lot to get through. And so that last American history block is quite extensive. And then next year when we're reviewing things, I'll probably throw in a couple units for American history that will touch on anything that we don't get to this year, because I know that there's going to be plenty that we're not able to get to. And so I will try to touch base on those. Let's see. We also will be using a 2-day rhythm. He does his schoolwork on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then he does it on Thursdays and Fridays. Wednesdays is co-op and guitar. His guitar teacher comes to teach him on Wednesdays. So that way, Mondays he can learn something new and then review it on Tuesday, and then we've got the day in the middle, and then Thursdays he can learn something new, and Friday we can review it, and then we'll kind of review things as we go also. But I think that that's what's going to work for us. And then let's see, trying to stay on target here. So as far as textbooks versus main lesson books, because he's in high school, and he's also 15 now, he is more developmentally ready for more textbook incorporation, and also he's used to learning from textbooks and he's comfortable learning from them, so, and also workbooks. So we are going to have textbooks, but I'm going to try to have the textbook be our structure as far as, we're going to learn these things at this time and whatnot, but I'm going to be pulling other things into those unit blocks to incorporate the arts and projects and things like that. So in my son's morning basket for 10th grade, he will have several daily warm-up workbooks to review, and it'll also help him to expand on the skills, that he has learned. So there will be some new things that he's obviously learning, but it'll be an expansion to something he already did. And the subjects or whatnot that are going to be in there include algebra, because he learned algebra this year, so we definitely want to keep that fresh. And he'll have a grammar workbook, a writing workbook, handwriting, and drawing. I also found an SAT prep, well, actually 2 SAT prep workbooks. One is for reading and writing, and the other one is for math. And that's just to kind of prep him, because the following year in the fall, he will, when he's going into 11th grade or starting 11th grade, he will have to start thinking about taking either the SATs or possibly the ASVAB. He's talked about going into the Air Force. So, whatever choices he makes, he'll have to start doing some of the testing for that then. So I do want to make sure that we prep him a little bit. But those are also in the daily warm-up style. So like I said, there's the 2 books. There's the mathematics one and the reading and writing one, and each of those take 5 to 10 minutes a day, so it's not gonna like overwhelm him. And then for his main lesson blocks, we also are going to be pulling chapter books. So especially because this is an American history year and there are so many amazing textbooks. In fact, I have a stack that is so big and I'm actually struggling to figure out which ones to not use, because obviously we can't get to all of them. But throughout the year, he's going to be reading a lot of leisure books that he wants to read, mixed with a lot of history, historical fiction books, so that that is a good way for him to be incorporating his language arts. That's the one curriculum that we don't really do a textbook for. We pull to make sure that he's doing something heavy with writing and reading every day, and doing some workbooks for grammar and things like that. But that's kind of where we're at with language arts. And then we're also going to be doing read alouds, and then there are also some really good movies and videos for American history in particular. So, we will watch a few of those as well, some of the classics. And then as far as the arts, we are going to incorporate them into our main lessons, like I was saying, but we are also going to have a dedicated time after his main lessons where we'll have a rotation. So every day he'll do one arts thing each day for however long he wants to do it. But those days are going to coordinate with my preschool kids that I watch, and also my 2.5-year-old son who's part of the preschool group. They have certain things that they do on certain days, and so we're going to kind of coordinate with that, and there's a couple of them that we're going to flip-flop a little bit this year to coordinate more with my older sons. But basically Mondays are going to be painting, Tuesdays will be for form drawing. Now my son, because he never really did Waldorf education, he never did form drawing, and we have found just from doing a few lessons with form drawing this year that it really, really helps with spatial awareness and helps him with his drawing, like his actual drawing workbooks that he works through. So he is going to have a day that he gets to just form draw, and we do have several books for that, or to walk us through that. So guitar, which is music, is Wednesdays. Sculpting or handwork is on Thursdays, and then he is going to do some woodworking with my dad. My dad has an amazing amount of tools and things in the garage for woodworking. So they're going to have projects throughout the year that they work on building together. And then I also got him some whittling and carving sets and gloves and the wood, and I think it's basswood. So he'll be doing woodwork and carving on Fridays. And then the very last thing that he'll have to do, which is a daily and a year-long subject, is Spanish. Foreign language is one of those subjects that you can't just do once a week or a block of time. A foreign language is kind of something that you need to keep going and keep working on a daily basis to really get it down. So he's going to be doing Spanish, and that'll just be in his morning basket. But it'll be something that will take him a little while. Now, I'm not entirely sure how long that will take him, so if it doesn't work with the schedule we have now for him to do it in the morning, because it may take, a long time just on its own, then we'll figure out where that will fit into a schedule best. But for now, we're planning for it to be part of his morning basket. And then I think I will definitely do the video I was telling you about that is going to share what our actual curriculum choices are and what resources we're going to use. And then also a video that shows how I put together a main lesson block, or a unit study, some people call them. So let me know in the comments if those are videos that you would want to see, or if anything I've talked about, if there's any video that you would like more explanation on, or if there's any questions I can answer or anything like that. Please let me know down in the comments. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.